we are going over the control box for the quantum resonance crystal bed. And this version features the ability to incorporate handholds for direct PEMF usage. Going over the front of the display, we have our power button, the frequency going to the frequencies coming from the display or coming from music or turning off. Now these frequencies are going to the PEMF coils that are part of the light bar. This does not do anything for the handholds. The next button is for the infrared, so the red light, you can have it steady or pulsed or turn it off. Third is the lighting system itself, the red, green, and blue, which is controlled by these 4 red buttons. So once again, we have power button, the frequency display, the display being controlled by this button, which is for the Vogel holders. So again, you can make it do the output from the display to the Vogel holders. You can turn them off in the middle or send information from the music to the Vogel holders. Next one is the infrared or the red light. You can turn that on, middle turn it off, or bottom you can pulsate the infrared keyed to the frequency generator. Last is the lights, the red, green, and blue, turning those on and off. Let's take a look at the right side. This is the larger control for headphones. This is what the headphone connector looks like. And it fits right in. This is the only size for it, so you can't confuse it with anything else. The next one is a smaller 3.5 millimeter, which is found on every type of audio cable. So that just plugs in place and that goes to your music player. The next one is the BNC connector. And this connector is used in audio and video applications, but for us, we're using it for the handholds. So that goes in place, and it's a twist lock. And it works with both of these the same way. And last is the USB charging cable. A quick note about these two connectors. The handholds are for the handhold devices. These. And if you were to try to use the handhold devices on the secondary frequency in PEMF, nothing would happen, because this is designed for something like a spooky generator or some kind of TENS input where you send frequencies into the box, which then goes to the Vogel holders. This does not go into the handholds. The handholds are only sent information from here. Now on the other side, we have a connector for vibrations. Those are the transducers. And this is what the vibration connector looks like. This is a twist lock as well. It can only go in one way. To unconnect, pull back, twist, out. So just twist it until it's on, pull it off. Next one controls the power of your handholds. You can increase or decrease the amount of power so you can feel the tingles or not. The lighting connector. This is coming from the light bar. and it only goes in one way. It's going to point down. And you hear it click. To pull it out, you have to push that top button, and it pulls right out. Lastly, we have two holes here for the piece that holds the handholds on. Let's move to the back. We have 4 knobs. 2 of them are smaller, 2 of them are larger. We've done that so someone who's lying on the bed can tactilely feel the difference between a big button and a small button, or a big knob and a small knob. Really what we're going after is that the bed and headphones are going to be larger so they can readily adjust those to their own desire. The headphones on some models will go from 0 to 10 and stop. Others will infinitely rotate, as well as the bed. Now, it depends on which model it is. Some of them will just stop, and others will just spin. But they're doing the same thing. They only go so far. The ones that rotate forever have the ability to mute. So if yours rotates and rotates and rotates, that means if you push it in, it's going to mute. Push it in again, it's going to unmute. The other one that only goes from here to here and stops does not do that. So this controls vibrations, this controls headphones. This is boost for specific music centered around crystal bowls and some of the more spiritual music that doesn't have a lot of information in specific frequencies. So we have taken the lower end of the frequency spectrum and, female vocals and some of the male vocals, and given that the ability to turn up the sound on that. Now it does go to a negative amount, so you can cut it or boost it. When it sits about at the 10 o'clock position, so where the B is, that's going to be neutral, meaning no boost and no cut. It does go to a +8, which is quite a bit of boost, and you might feel that it's too much, so you can adjust that as needed. Cutoff has to do with the transducers. And this also works with the transducers. Now the cutoff cuts the frequencies completely off on the transducers. So when it's all the way down here, you're only getting a certain amount of the lower end frequencies, which can be very helpful if you're in a setting where there's a lot of people. Maybe you're in an office setting where people are complaining about too much noise or vibrations, and you need to tone that down a bit, but you still want vibrations. So this is a subjective amount, and it goes all the way up to 1000 hertz. So it cuts off at 120 hertz, which is very low vibrations. And you can bring it all the way up to 1200 to cut off. 1200 hertz really brings in a lot of any of the frequencies that you may ever experience. So that's more than adequate. Most people may find that right in the middle is a great way to go. And that would be around 500 or 600 hertz. The 4 red buttons have to do with the red, green, and blue lighting on the light bar. There is a separate video portion that shows you what these will in fact do, but we're going to quickly go over some of the elements. Select changes the lighting from one color to another. Memory stores the one that you want. So if you turn off the power and turn it back on, it will come back on to that color. Faster and slower are for the few of the red, green, and blue that actually change their speed. Maybe they do some pulsation or things like that, so they will change the amount of pulsation in terms of speed. So we're going to go over the power supply connector. This one is shaped like the letter D, flat on one side and half barrel on the other. Let's give you a little zoom in here. And here's the part that plugs into the wall, and then this wall part comes in. And it clicks in place and locks. To pull it apart, grab onto this side and this side, pull and wiggle, and it comes apart. Let's show you the other one. Here is another style. And this one only goes in one direction. It can't go in upside down. It can only go in like this. Undo, you push down and pull out. So yes, these two tripod plates are different. We use two different tripods based off availability, and also sometimes we like to try to get this one to Europe. The tripod's a little bit smaller, saves on shipping, just as durable. So that does it for the control box.